Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us.
Seth, great to be here. Got one of my buddies and good man coming on here today, so looking forward to it.
That's right. We're here with none other than the one and only Mike Calhoun of Board of Advisors. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Listen, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Seth, both you and Kevin, always been impressed with what you're doing, and there's always something new coming to the table. Just watching both of you, such an exciting thing, right?
Appreciate it. So let's go back in time a little bit for our folks who aren't aware yet and should be. What is Board of Advisors and how did you get started?
Yeah, I like that question. A lot of people say, hey, what do you do? And Kevin, I know you're laughing already. What do you do? How do I explain that? Right? Like my neighbor says, what do you do? I said, okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a conversation, right?
Right.
So what I tell them is, I say, have you ever heard of a board of advisors, or do you know what a board of advisors is? And they're like, yeah, that's like something, a business has a board of advisors, right? I'm like, okay, so you get it. So a board of advisors is somebody, it's a collective group. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or in our case, it's 150, but individuals that genuinely have a desire to contribute and advise. They're not on your board in the sense of like board of directors where there's a little different style involvement. These are individuals that really want the best for you, right? Now, that's the general kind of context, but with us, it's like we've created this community where everybody's in it to contribute, to give, and to make each other better and really leverage the assets within the relationship within the community, right? So, we're a syndicate of about the top 150 entrepreneurs, CEOs, investors, marketers, innovators in America. And, it started out kind of small, but I think all great things do. And now I confidently say we are the world's greatest mastermind organization when it comes to business owners and entrepreneurs.
And Mike, it's funny because I met Mike early on when he was putting things together. And so you explained it very well. And let me take it a step further, because when somebody joins the Board of Advisors, what you do is they get to get in front of now the 150 advisors, tell their story, and now how can we be helping each other, do business with each other, et cetera. And this camaraderie, I remember the very first time I got on the stage in front of everybody, Mike came to me afterwards, handed me this deck of cards. I'm like, what's that? He's like, these are all the people that want to help you with the mission that you just described. And so that's where they are giving advice. And it's very powerful stuff. People are willing in these environments, they're willing to do things to help that they would normally charge for in many cases. Now, some people are charging and some people are making money for sure. There's commerce going on through the Board of Advisors, but it's a very powerful situation of getting some transformation about yourself and your business.
Now, Kevin, you, because of your success and your reputation and the legend that you are, you get asked to participate in probably every mastermind on the planet. You get invited to speak everywhere. Why did you choose to become so involved in board of advisors? You're literally on the poster of the screen behind us.
Well, so absolutely. I mean, the first reason is because of the man sitting here right now, Mike Calhoun. And, you know, when I met Mike and understood what his plan was, and also I've seen other types of things like this where it's really more about a money grab, and Mike really had the desire to help businesses, right? To help entrepreneurs. And so it was instantly successful in that regard. And Mike always goes out of his way to make sure that this guy gets to this guy to that guy. So Mike's the band leader of all of this. And so I you know, basically they say you bet on the jockey, you know, that I believed in Mike. And it also was helpful that geographically it turned out to be in a closer place to me than many others tend to be. So, but no, I mean, the first time, was I at your first one, Mike? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. I think you were at like the second or third. It was right after we started, because I met Amos, and Amos is the one that says, "Hey, you got to talk to my friend Kevin."
Yeah.
And so it was right there at the beginning.
So I you know, second or third one, and I walked away from that saying, this is a solid concept, good people that want to help. And as I followed up with people and said, you offered to do this, is there any charge? No, I want to help you, you know? So it really is a camaraderie kind of a network that is very powerful. And each event on a quarterly basis, it takes a whole week. They have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with breakfast, lunches, dinners, and everything in between filled out with exciting speakers and activities.
Mike, there are arguably, probably now, I don't know that anyone's tracking it, but there are literally hundreds of mastermind groups active around the country and around the world at all kinds of varying price points and deliverables. What do you think sets BA apart? What do you think makes you guys different and better?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. The culture, first off, is one of the I think most attractive things about board of advisors, because as soon as you step into the environment, you feel the difference, because it's a very high caliber room that has a very high desire to contribute, right? So getting the level of player that we're able to put you face to face with, many times that's usually a guy that's speaking on the stage and delivering content, but I've got them eyeball to eyeball and belly to belly with you, having an intimate conversation. You know, we've created that peer relationship with, like, just think about this. You have Kevin right here. Every time Kevin shows up, I've got a couple hand-selected deals I want to make sure I get in front of him. He can qualify. They're having a conversation. It's not this show, and it's a great show to experience for the 5 days, but it's not, we're not putting on a show. We're really bringing people together. And everything we do, Seth, is data-driven. So my background, SaaS, we've done several different tech plays. I've done deals with Adobe, Microsoft, Cisco, Hewlett-Packard. We've really made this a data-driven thing as well. Before a member even comes to their first meeting, we've done a full profile, PI index them. We know everything they're bringing to the table, what they're trying to, what their initiatives are, what they're trying to accomplish. And we figured out where are the synergies between them and other members. And I've put them on calls with these other individuals before they even show up to a meeting. So they come in hot, right? They've got momentum. They're already kind of integrated in the fabric of the community, but they've never even been to a meeting. I've had guys, I just did a deal where I've had guys, there's 300, they've done 300 grand in business before they even show up to the meeting in August with people they've never met, because I was able to put the right people together in the right conversation. So I think the thing that we do so competitively is the profiling and the understanding of what the member's trying to do and mating them with that best relationship, right? What I know from doing this 6 years consecutively with like a Herculean effort is you get the right people together. All you've got to do is get them to see what you see, kind of see the deal, see the synergy, and then I just get out of the way, right? A lot of times I even get in the deal when it's a good deal. But if you have the right people, you don't have to hold their hand. We're not a coaching program. We're not a hand-holding program. This is a real results and deal-driven conversation for the most part, where it's mutually beneficial. So I think a lot of these things are experiential. You go to a meeting, you're jumping out of an airplane, they're all talking about bonding. You know what makes people bond? Do a deal together and make some money. That'll make you bond real quick, right? So, I like what a lot of the others are doing, but I don't go to really any masterminds unless, somebody invites me because they want me to, kind of tell my story or whatever. I'm focused on BA, and I think BA's DNA is deal driven, results driven, conversation, connection driven, because that's all I've ever done. I don't know how to do it any other way.
You have had so much success from when you started. What do you think your biggest opportunity is? What are you most excited about now?
Honestly, I kind of try to model after the gentleman on the call here, Mr. Kevin Harrington. When I first met Kevin, the thing that impressed me most is obviously super high profile, but that was not like, I didn't feel that there was this exterior layer that I had to penetrate. He was real. It was a great conversation. He was very genuine. Just to see somebody at that level of success that has that authenticity still to just have a conversation with somebody they don't know. I think that he's a great example from a human aspect. But when you watch him on deal flow, he's done so many deals and been part of so many ventures, whether he's putting his own money into it, his own effort, his own brand or face on it. Kevin has figured out how to do the right ones. And if he gets in one that's not the right one, how to get out, right? So really being able to be part of the good ones, right? That's something that I think BA has a lot of the deal flow. Getting in the good ones and sticking in the good ones, I think, is something he's mastered, which I kind of watch, right? I watch how he's doing it and what he's doing. We had a conversation the other day. A lot of these private companies, they're great, but it's also tough, and it's tough to get the money out. And sometimes, they get to a certain point and then they start to frazzle. And looking at that pre-IPO and the companies going public, there's a big leverage point there when they do go public. And I tell you, it's like everybody says from a mentorship scenario, if you got somebody that knows what they're doing, do what they're doing, follow them, model after them. I don't want to reinvent anything. If I could be more like Kevin and get in the right deals, I'm happy.
And Mike's already, it's great for you to say that, because you and I are this close, on this one other public company deal that Mike and team brought, to me. And so it's public companies are great vehicles to be able to take chips off the table. Because if you do the deal right, you end up, whether you write a check or a combination of check and something you're bringing to the table, you end up with stock certificates. And hopefully it goes up instead of down. But the majority of the deals that I'm doing have gone up because I picked the right ones on the front end. And now you've got something that you can monetize your involvement as whenever you want, as you can sell stock, right? And sometimes you hold it. I mean, I held my Celsius stock for 8 years before I sold one share. And
wow.
And sometimes and by the way, the good news is, but after 8 years, it had gone to such a great level that it turned out to be a good move, right? And so I don't need any one of these to change my life or live off of. So I'll ride the deal as long as I can if it should be. And I think this is one of the things I think, as you asked Mike, where does board of advisors go? I think it's starting to go in some really nice directions with these pubcos. Something we should talk about more too, Mike.
I definitely agree with you. And it's also cool to see the evolution of companies like Chris Dinner, where he came in, he had other companies, he got involved with the bat mugs and took a company in a period of 36 or 48 months from nothing, like nothing. It was this, I have the first mug. It's not even sealed. I won't give it back to him.
If you pour beer in it, it'll leak. Okay. 'Cause
Yeah,
I got one of them too.
and they're on track right now to do 22 million this year, right?
That's
to
amazing.
be part of the business growth and the stories. Here's what's actually happened, Seth and Kevin. I've worked so hard and served these individuals that I truly care about so well. It's turned into an army. If Kevin called and said, Mike, hey, you got anybody for this? Kevin, 1 second. Let me pick up the phone. I call and they're doing whatever we need done. They're doing it because they're not doing us a favor. They're already benefiting so greatly from some other thing that happened previously that they're excited to be able to contribute back. And I call that relationship equity. We make a little withdrawal here, and we put it over here, but now we got more over here, and later we take it and we put it over there. And it's kind of turned into like a little army. Whatever we need to get done, we've got the right individual for it, which is cool.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you do?
I got to tell you, this is kind of probably like Kevin, when you're on Shark Tank and they show you this thing or they're pitching this thing to you and you're like, what works about it and what doesn't? I love when I get a referral from a member because we're invite only. So the only way in through BA is to get an invitation. And I get a referral from another member. I just got off the phone. Guy's a huge auto dealer in the Brooklyn area, right? And he's had a great amount of success. It's just a new relationship for me. And I'm listening and I'm understanding and I'm going, all right, I can help you this way. And I think you can help this member that way. And then I've got a new asset. I look at it as an asset. If we're a big crayon box, like the biggest one, did you guys ever get like the really big one?
Yes.
Dude, they got colors in there that you're not going to use. They're not even good colors. They're like,
right.
Puke green, but it's there because they try to fill the box. So when I get these referrals from members who are handing me their closest relationships, these guys have known each other for 15, 16 years and they're saying, you need to talk to Mike. I'm getting something from them that it took a long time for them to develop and nurture and procure, right? And then I get to take that and plug that into the BA crayon box that just makes us more powerful and more competent. That's what I love.
Beautiful. I know it's invite only, but for our Sharkpreneurs watching or listening who want to learn more about BA, where is the best place for them to go to learn more?
Well, it's invite only, and every person in BA has a name from where they came from. So individuals that Kevin has said, hey, you need to go talk to Mike. It says Kevin by their name. Every person has a name by their name, unless maybe I was at an event or was having a conversation like this. Then what I do is I say, look, you can apply. You can go to applyba.com. You can apply and you're going to get on the phone with me. And that doesn't mean you're going to get an invitation. But if I find that it's the right fit and it's a good use of your time and we're going to be able to really synergistically work together, then we'll extend that invitation. So it's applyba.com or you go to bainvite.com, either one.
Awesome. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up? I know your time's incredibly valuable.
Well, I'll give the first spot there to Kevin. Kevin, is there anything that we should have included that we didn't include?
Well, let's see. For those special people, do you ever allow them to take a little peek-see at an event before they join?
That's a great question. Early on, I did things like that. Here's what happens. It bysteps the process.
Right.
There's magic in me getting the data, profiling them out, pre-connecting them, actually getting that momentum started before they show. Yeah. So when they show on first point of contact, it's like, holy crap, because it's a kind of an intimidating crowd sometimes. Right. I mean, you walk in, everybody's dressed like, for success.
Yeah.
And to come into that and go, dude, I belong.
Right.
That's a really cool thing to do. So I used to kind of play around with what does that look like? But
Yeah.
I've arrived at this. We're 25K per year. You do 3 installments. We split it into 3. It's the easiest way to do it. You do your first installment. By the time you make it to the first meeting, if you come and you think I wasted your time, I just give you the money back.
Right.
Like, I've never in the history of BA ever, not one time. Matter of fact, I've had 2 people pay me more than the 25, and I didn't even ask for it, to encourage me to raise the price. No one has ever said, Mike, you wasted my time.
Hey, that's a good advisor that's willing to put his money where his mouth is. Okay.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, I think it makes sense what you just said, because the BA is all about the connection. So you're the band leader. You need to understand how to connect. And so it's not fair if somebody just shows up out, for an hour to take a look at what you're doing.
well, also what's not fair is in the past, somebody says, oh, I want somebody to take a peek. They walk in the door and they walk out with a massive deal,
Yeah.
right? That's not fair to the member that's investing. It's not fair to the organization, right? So if somebody's coming in and they get I've literally had somebody there for a day before to poke their head in, gets a huge deal with another player. And, for not saying that it's not fair and that we don't want that. We definitely want that. But we also want that win and that asset to be part of the community, because that's what makes us stronger. And in doing it in another way actually puts a hole in the bucket. So, in the evolution of building the technology, building the team, building the culture, the membership, like there is a fortification when bringing somebody in, right, that makes it better versus if you just look at it potentially from a distance, right, poking your head in the door, it may look just like an elaborate event. They really have to understand this is a family-like network that we're doing stuff together, right? Like there is a bond, there's leverage, and there's power in that room. And it's hard to see through sometimes some of the lights and cameras in action into, if you don't have that onboarding done right, into like, maybe this is just an event. And that's not it. We're not an event. We're a full-time operation every day, every week, every month, all year long. I'm doing deals today. I just funded another deal yesterday with a member.
What it's all about, my man. I can't wait to see the next event, by the way, is give us the date. I know you can't just show up, but you do every quarter, you do events. Your next one
go to applyba.com or bainvite.com, either one. It's August 9th through the 13th. We do 5 days. There's a strategy there too. What I do is I have the new people come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's kind of the first session, and they always stay into the second session, right? So most of the members are at a point where they're there for the entire week. If they're going to be there, they're just kind of there the entire time. But we run 2 sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We overlap everybody on Wednesday, and I got to tell you, it's something special for sure.
Well, this has been Seth Greene and Kevin Harrington with Sharkpreneur, with Mike Calhoun from Board of Advisors. Make sure you check out BA. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, pleasure. Anytime.
Good seeing you, Mike. Take care, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, everybody,
Thank you,
for
Seth.
watching or listening. We'll see you or talk to you next time.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level, but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.